What would possess someone to drink ayahuasca? For health benefits? For healing trauma? For spiritual evolution? This ayahuasca tea is also known as la purga. It will make you purge. Ayahuasca is typically made when you brew the leaves of the Psychotria viridis shrub and the stalks of the Banisteriopsis caapi vine. So these are the two most important ingredients. There are other plants that people can use depending on the region of South America that you're coming from. But the people of the various Amazonian tribes and some religious communities in Brazil and now in North America, they use ayahuasca for religious ceremonies. So these ayahuasceros are the people who lead the ceremonies, also called curanderos, and they will boil this brew until it is a thick, highly concentrated liquid. And I can tell you, it doesn't taste great. Not at all. So why would anybody drink something that would make you vomit, maybe even have diarrhea, and maybe even go out of your rational mind? Well, all of these wonderful properties that we get from ayahuasca can actually do wonders on our psychological well-being. Those hallucinogenic properties, those actually open us up to leave behind what we think of as reality in the 3D world. So what do I mean by that? Well, I happen to have a high ACE score. The Adverse Childhood Experiences score tells you if you have grown up in a chaotic, dysfunctional family or with abuse, neglect, illness, all of those sorts of things, it impacts your brain and your nervous system and how you respond later in life. Having a high ACE score means that many of us will have an increased risk of developing a whole host of illnesses and diseases, anything from allergies and asthma to addiction, Alzheimer's, eating disorders, the list goes on and on. And for me, I didn't even know the level of drama and trauma that was hidden in my psyche until my mother had a stroke and I had to face the fact that she was about to die. And it led me to really start doing some investigative work to understand, why have I struggled with depression and anxiety for so many years? Where did I get this idea that I wasn't worthy of love? And a lot of the work that I did in psychotherapy was helpful to talk, but it wasn't helpful on the healing level. It wasn't really until I had my near-death experience and started exploring these expanded states of consciousness and different cultures around the world that explained that through ritual and through ceremony and through rites of passage ceremonies, we can actually get in and find out what's in the subconscious. And that for me was why I said yes to ayahuasca. The first time I was introduced to ayahuasca was in 2008. I was at this amazing trance dance workshop, and our medicine man talked about ayahuasca being delivered in the jungle and that people would like dig a hole to puke in or to shit in, and then they would have these hallucinations and healing. And I'm like, well, that's a lot to go through for some healing. So I said no. It wasn't until 2017, after hearing even more and being in Peru and meeting this ayahuasquera, that I felt ready to explore even more. And the experience that I had, yes, I vomited, I purged, and yes, I had these visions and these feelings, and I left my ordinary state of reality and felt this incredible oneness with all that is and all that will ever be. I felt this complete love. And that idea of ego dissolution for me, I hadn't even heard of yet, but the ego of Andrea was gone in that ceremony. And as I experienced just so many visions and things, scenes from my life in the past and the present, I got a sense of peace. I got a sense of self-acceptance and compassion for what I had lived and what was ahead of me. And then I got these future visions as well. I don't know that that happens necessarily for everyone, but in my case, it's happened in nearly all of the ayahuasca ceremonies that I've participated in. So this is just a little hint of what I've experienced. Your experience may vary, but I'm curious to know, what do you think about it? Would you do it? How much do you want to know about what could happen, or would you rather just go in somewhat blind? I'll be sharing more about this in another video, but I just thought I would share what's on my mind today. See you again.